great thanks to the UNIC and IFF to inviting us to be here today. And I think also a great thanks to the organization team of this very nice conference. I think you earned a really huge applause for the perfect organization. I'm not alone today. My nice colleague Friederike Kleinfächer, she's here, she's there. She studied computing science. From my background, I was a biologist. I did my PhD in epigenetics and chromatin remodeling. And then I changed my knowledge and I shifted my knowledge from the genesis of a fruit fly to the genesis of a blockchain. And perfect, there's my presentation, perfect timing. And Friederike and me, we work for the Max Planck Society. The Max Planck Society is, what's the Max Planck Society? So who we are. There's not a single institute, not one Max Planck Institute. We have 84 institutes, most of them across Germany. Here in the green dots, we have also one in the US, we have also one in Italy, and so on. And in the pink dots, the Max Planck Society has 4 central service units, and one central service unit is the Max Planck Digital Library, where our department is located in Munich. We have about 30,000 employees, half of it 14,000 to 15,000 scientists working at the Max Planck Society, and we are one of the international flagship for German science, with an annual budget of 1.8 million per year. What we do, so our strength is basic research. Our strength is in 3 fields: life sciences, natural sciences, social sciences, and humanities. We have collaborations worldwide, and since our foundation 1948, 18 scientists from the Max Planck Society got a Nobel Prize. This is from science and from the service level, so especially the Max Planck Digital Library, and where we are located as digital labs, we provide exclusively for our scientists basic provision with scientific information. That means we licensed around 15,000 journals, scientific journals, I think about 400 databases and 900,000 scientific ebooks for our scientists. And we also provide software tools. We also provide, and we license software, we provide infrastructure there, repositories for publications, for research data, and we are also part of international and national initiatives. You might heard about the open access movement, so Open Access 2020, for example, and brand new also a blockchain initiative. What we are going, so we always visit institutes, and it's really great to work for such a huge and very excellent organizations. We visit twice a month, 3 times a month, our institutes, from talking about with them about black holes to biologists, about small worms, cells, whatever. And this is a typical situation. So scientists have a conference and have a poster session, stand in front of their poster talking about their research. And we listen to our researchers, we talking to them, we listen to them, and always what we hear is something like, Sandra, you know, isn't there a possibility to get a timestamp or a watermark on my research even before I publish it? Because as a researcher, if you not publish your research, you cannot really claim this was my idea, this was my data, and so on. And we often hear that, and we were sitting together, Friederike and me, always this timestamp issue, we have to do something. So let me summarize. For scientists, the challenges in science is high pressure to publish fast. Scientists tell us, okay, we just publish because we want to spread our research in the world, not to get scooped. So the intellectual property can be stolen, end, always the question is who was first. Especially it becomes to a Nobel Prize or a patent, but also in the daily life of a researcher is, I would maybe much often share my PowerPoint slides, my data, whatever, if I would be much more relaxed if I would know, okay, I have a timestamp there, or I have a watermark on my data, my idea, whatever. For us, was clear, okay, the intellectual property, whatever it is, an idea, raw material, whatever, the perfect technology to solve this problem is blockchain. Okay, we were thinking about it, and we were looking for the best blockchain for our researchers. We started with the Bitcoin blockchain, and there was a very nice talk from Ramesh this morning talking about the different types of blockchain, and we went back and forth, permission, private, which one should we take? In the end, the outcome was we have to do our own blockchain for science. Okay, then what we did is we took the phone, the analog phone, and we're calling friends, like the University of Nicosia, asking, we have an idea, what do you think about? We call everyone in the world, we know we were looking for friends for other universities around the world, and we're still doing it, and in the end we could find, beginning of this year, universities and research organizations who think, okay, a blockchain in science sounds like a great idea. And beginning of this year, in February, we did that. The Max Planck Society has a castle in Bavaria. This was a gift of the royal Bavarian family. And we invited 11 founders from 10 different nations, also our friends from the University of Nicosia. And we were talking about this blockchain for science. And this was the first time when I really were thinking about democracy. And we had a very nice talk about democracy, because in the governance model, you have to really think about what does it mean voting? What is a voting weight? Voting right? We were really discussing back and forth. How do we want it? How should we design this blockchain and so on? And here you can see one of the first round of voting was just analog, nothing digital, was raising your hand. And here all 11 founders, you can see Carnegie Mellon University, University College, London, ETH Zurich, University Nicosia, and so on. These were the 11 founders, and so this was the genesis of our blockchain for science. We call it Bloxberg. Let's have a closer look in the inside Bloxberg. So at a glance, our blockchain is based on Ethereum, but it's a permissioned blockchain. We integrated proof of authority instead of proof of work. And our currency is called Bergs, but it's not traded. We're working for science, for the greater good of science. We don't make money. Bergs are not traded. This is how it works. So you see the Bloxberg validators, or also called Bloxberg members. They validate blocks. The blocks are added at the permissioned blockchain, our Bloxberg blockchain. And on this side, you can see applications running on our Bloxberg backbone communicate with our blockchain. First, let's have a look on the left side here. So the Bloxberg validators, and this is for the scientific community also something which has also something to do with reputation. It is something that maybe if you publish or if you let blockchainify your research data on a blockchain, or a blockchain where research institutions are behind it. What does it mean? If you want to become a member of Bloxberg, you need to be a research institution. We have a definition what is a research institution in our point of view, and this is written in our white paper. Every new member has to vote it in by the existing members on-chain. And it is only allowed to run one authority node for each organization. Think about the Max Planck Society. We could easily run 84 nodes, but this is, and also other institutions have more than one entity, so to say, so it's only allowed to run one node per institution. Every member has to declare, okay, we signed the manifesto, and we are all connected off-chain, which is also very nice. We have monthly meetings with Skype or Zoom. We have newsletters. We can there discussing back and forth what's going on. On the right side, on the application side, we have the apps, and we know that a lot of scientists already develop smart dApps on blockchain, often on Ethereum. So for them it's easy, maybe if they want to change to Bloxberg, because because our blockchain is based on Ethereum. And if you want to run an application on Bloxberg, then everyone is encouraged to do it, also startups, scientists. There's no transaction fee because Bergs are not traded. Of course, if someone wants, you can develop an app where you have a tokenization on it. And it must not be any kind of trading money, but maybe also other incentives like reputation, visibility, or whatever. If you're interested more in it, we are also on GitHub. You can watch there how to connect to our Bloxberg backbone. We have also the first dApps running on Bloxberg. One is very important for researchers. This is the certification and validation dApp. So everyone who wants to certify, for example, research data can already use Bloxberg. We have a network faucet, especially if you want to connect to Bloxberg with an application, you need Bergs. This is done by the network faucet. And the third one, we have a closer look there, is the Bloxberg Explorer, where you can see what's going on, how many blocks are generated, and how many time we need. We will have a closer look there. This is the front end of the Bloxberg Explorer. You see at the moment, this is a screenshot. You see at the moment, we need 7 seconds for creating one block. Here you can see, and this was from the screenshot from last week, I think we have more than 3.8 million already created on our Bloxberg blockchain. Here you can see we are fully transparent. The organization who are validating the transactions, and here you can see the Bergs for each transaction. And we have, this is what I also wanted to show to you. We as Max Planck service unit, we already connected Bloxberg to the sync and share tool, which is used by our researcher. The sync and share tool, by the way, is based on a C-file software. And here already researchers, here's a button. This is a Berg button. Here it's integrated the Bloxberg, and if you push this button, if you press this button, your research data, whatever, goes directly to our Bloxberg blockchain and is certified. And this brings me to the outlook already. And I was really smiling a bit because we had the idea, Friederike, I think January 2018. And we know Sola and Elias, we talking, and then we were at the second Decentralized conference. We had no members, but the idea was born, and we already know we want to do the summit. And then we had at our castle in February this year, the Bloxberg Genesis with 11 members. And now we are here at the third Decentralized conference with already 40 members. I have to say, we are a bit overwhelmed that in the academia so many enthusiastic institutes want to become a Bloxberg member without doing many marketing yet. And yeah, I hope that there will be a fourth Decentralized conference. And I'm also looking forward to what he can tell about our Bloxberg blockchain. Thanks for your attention, and I think perfect in time. Yeah.
Thank you, Sandra. Looking forward to the next meeting on the next castle. And I think we have time for 1 or 2 questions. Oh, already see 2 questions, please.
Very good question. Hello. My question is, I think I've missed something fundamental about this. So the validation of your timestamping of the data on your own blockchain, where you know all the validators and it's only a small amount of validators, how does that matter to anyone outside? How can you use this to provide any proof or claim really on when you've published your scientific work?
Yeah, it's a matter of definition. I mean, we have already 40 institutes now as members. And for example, if you compare it to other blockchains, it's a lot. And it is within the scientific community. If you, for example, think about if you publish something, then you have a centralized system, you have the publisher. And so I think this is a huge difference, and I'm sure we will grow even more.
Why did you just write hashes onto the whatever Bitcoin blockchain, for example? Just easy, it doesn't cost much, just the hash of the document, whatever your scientific findings are, and you've documented, and I think no one will argue about that, timestamping.
Yes, so we were thinking about the Bitcoin blockchain. We already started a bit with the Bitcoin blockchain, but then actually the marketing of the Bitcoin blockchain in the academia is really, or let's say if we talk to scientists and asking them, would you blockchainify your research data on the Bitcoin blockchain, they would say, Bitcoin blockchain? To blockchainify my research? You know, it makes a huge difference if you have a blockchain where Max Planck Society, Georgia Tech, ETH Zurich are behind it, or if it's a blockchain. It's a matter of reputation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Some members from Greece and from France.
We have in Nicosia, we are waiting off. We are
Other?
also in contact with France. Also there we have good connection, but we are waiting for memberships.
Okay.
Thank you, Sandra. That was very enlightening. I'm familiar with the Max Planck Institute, but I didn't know the connection between blockchain and the institute. So what other aspects of science research and your activities at the institute do you think could be tokenized? Thank you.
Again, what is this record?
What other scientific research and what other activities from the Max Planck Institute could benefit from tokenization?
From the tokenization, so the benefit is often that even before you publish, you can claim, okay, I did this and that yesterday, 12 o'clock. And you can do it even without saying what you did. And this is something because if you publish, you have to go out in the world and saying, okay, I did that, but you have to publish. And this is a possibility even before you publish, you can have a timestamp.
The question wasn't about timestamp, it was what else could benefit?
What else? So the vision also from the long term is, for example, changing the publication system. So we started with the timestamp because this is a more easy use case, everyone can understand, but we have the open access movement saying that everyone should principle publish so everyone can read it, even my grandma can read a scientific paper. And in this case is instead of publishing with a publisher, so this is a centralized system, and you have to trust the publisher, you can publish on a blockchain and you can publish on a backbone where universities are behind instead of a publisher. So this is the long-term vision. But since we know we fight for more than 20 years for open access, this is a system change and also a cultural change because of reputation. I know by myself that as a scientist, as a biologist, I always wanted to have a Nature Cell or Science paper, but I think this is a real possibility to change it if I know I publish where universities and all the review process maybe might be some days also on this blockchain.
Excellent, thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Sandra.
Thank you.
Thank you.